Hey guys, how's it going? MK Beamer here. I'm going to start doing how-to videos, so this will be my first one. Today I'll show you guys how I'll do my farming runs. First, before we get started, I'll go over my setup in my inventory. I start off with a rune pouch. In the rune pouch, I typically keep water, air runes, and law runes. The rune pouch is not a necessity, but I do recommend it. And if you don't have one, I recommend getting one. And if you follow this guide, you'll probably get enough money to get one. But if you don't, you can always use teleport tabs or just carry the runes, but I recommend not to save space. Along with the rune pouch, I have Hosidius teleport tabs, so you can also use house tabs and move your house to Hosidius, or you can just walk there, but that will take forever. I think the quickest way is to do the Hosidius teleport tabs, then use redirect scrolls on a house teleport, and then make Hosidius tabs yourself. Watering can is another one I'll need, and then the ecto file, and then I'll have my seeds, which is what I do is limport seeds. They're generally, I get about 4 to 7 limport roots per patch, which roughly is like, I'd say 4 to 6k. Landing time, herbs, which I think the seeds are about a 1k each, and so I profit about, I don't know, 500 for the first herb, and then anything after that is profit. I'll do watermelon seeds. So typically watermelons aren't worth the hassle, but I make my own super compost and then sell the super compost, so I do make a decent profit there. I think in a day I'll typically make about 100 to 200k just in compost, and since I'm doing farming anyway, it doesn't really hurt me to make the compost. You can make your own ultra compost, but I buy mine. I only use ultra compost for the herb batch. So you can get ash from the volcano and then make it yourself. But again, it's not worth my time for that, so I just buy it. So I'll start with my allotments, and so I'll do watermelons, and I treat those patches. I treat every patch except for the herb patch with super compost. So typically I'll also water each patch, and if I'm starting off in the Ardugni patch, which is just north of the teleport, you'll teleport here and you'll run up to here, and as you can see right now there's a water fountain right above the patch, which is where I get my water when I'm around here, and I water each patch while I'm in the area as much as I can, because if you did not know, the super compost helps against disease, but watering 100% protects that stage from disease. So since it literally costs me nothing to water my plants except saves me some money, I water each one every time I'm here. So I got 3 limports from this patch, but again I get typically anywhere from that to maybe 7. Also, one thing I didn't mention is I use magic sectors, which you can get from Fairy Tale Growing Pains Fairy Tale Part 1 Growing Pains, and it's totally worth it. I think you get about 10% more yield from herbs, which is worth it because that's just money right there. Also, if you didn't know, you can use the Tool Leprechaun not only to store tools, but he can note your items you're farming. So I don't typically use all of my watermelons, so I note them just because, along with all my herbs and my limports, because it saves space. But again, you get a lot of watermelons from each patch, but it kind of evens out. If you're trying to make super compost and one patch dies, sometimes you'll get just shy of the 15 needed to make the compost. So the allotments, the compost, and the herbs, all 3 take 90 minutes. The limport seeds take only 45, so typically they'll all be done about the same time, except for the limport seeds. So I'm only going to show you one location of farming, and then one set of farming, and then I'm going to show you all the other locations. I'll just fly by them real quick. So I use 5 locations. There are other patches. I think there's one in, if you do Edgar's Ruse, you can go up there to Trollheim and do that one, but it's only herb patch, and I think it's pretty far from the teleport, so I don't use that one. There's one in the Farming Guild if you're looking straight money. And then I think there's a few others. Geez, this one is given a lot of watermelons. So after the Ardugny patch, we'll teleport on over to Camelot, and we'll go west. Again, if you need to fill up your watering can, there are fountains right here. And we'll go over to the patch right here, and I'll do the same thing. I got watermelons, limpworts, herbs, and my compost bin. From here, I'll use my ectofile, and I will go to the patch north of the Haunted Woods, right next to the farm where you get your undead chickens in the Animal Magnetism quest. There is also a few other ways to get here if you don't have the ectofile, which you need Ghost Ahoy quest in order to get that done. You can teleport using the fairy rings with ALQ, and the most efficient way I've found that I do that is from Camelot. After doing the Catherby, I will walk from Camelot all the way up to here, the fairy ring CJR, and then I'll use it to go over here. The other way is if you don't have either of those quests done, because you need to have started Fairy Tale Part 2 for that, you can always use the Frankenstein's Castle teleport. You can buy tablets for those, and that would be the way if you don't have any of those quests. But I would definitely recommend at least doing the fairy rings, because they're useful for so many other things. So from here, we'll go to Falador. And again, there is a water pump right over here for your water needs. So from Falador, we will go down the southern exit, and if you're familiar with where the farm is, the dairy farm, it's right next door. Each of these locations also has a farming shop, so if you need to buy cures if you're in time, I would definitely do so, especially for your herbs. Speaking of those, you can look up a herb profit on the wiki, which will show you generally how much profit you'll make, how much each seed is versus the actual herb itself. Keep in mind that the ones on the wiki, they typically show you how much profit you'll make off of only one herb, and very rarely, if ever, because I typically get at least 7 to 8, at most 13 to 14 herbs per patch, so it'll only show you the profit for one. So if it says minus 500 profit, or 2 profit, or whatever, it's only showing you for one, so you'll still make a profit. Then the last location is the Hosidius house teleport. Again, you can use the tab, or you can teleport. I actually also have my house here. Whoop, didn't need to open that. You'll run directly north, and this one's actually not very far at all from the teleport. And from there you'll do your last patch. A few other things. If you use Rune Light, you can use the timer, and it will actually tell you how much time left generally is on your patches. It is off a little bit sometimes because of the farming ticks, but generally it's pretty good. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment or join my Discord in the link below.